What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a new tournament pack, or Tamer pack, that has been gone and revealed over in Japan. Now, this is Tamer Pack 6, I believe. Now, I am weirdly collecting sealed Tamer packs. I'm not 100% sure why, but I'm up to 4. I need to get me a number 5 at some point. And then I'll go and get one of these. And I'll never open them because they come with 1 card each. And I like collecting sealed Japanese promo packs. I'm not entirely sure why I'm collecting sealed Japanese promo packs, but I am. And now there's another one that I need to go and add to my collection. And as always, there are 4 you can get in the promo pack, and then there is a winner card, which is awarded to the winner of the Tamer Battle, where these are given out. So, in that regard, we should probably start off there, if I'm honest with you. It's the Digimon on the front of the pack. It's the one that comes as a winner promo, although do bear in mind the one that comes as a winner promo is also always available just in the pack normally. We've got ourselves a bit of the old Chimeramon, specifically the Chimeramon that came around in BT2. And this is a pretty gosh darn good card. Free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2000 power, all fairly standard. But what we've got here is, as an inheritable skill, on your turn, when a Digimon with the same name as this Digimon appears, as in you play it, you get to draw a card. Sorry, for a second I was reading the Google Translate and I'm like, well, hang on a second. I can probably just go and look at the English version from BT2 and that will give me the actual wording. But the point is, when you play a Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you get to draw a card. And that is awesome, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely awesome. Because if we look at, Diaboromon, that's what Diaboromon does. You got the Diaboromon from BT2 that when you attack, you get to play a Digimon, well, you get to play a Diaboromon token, which is the same as playing a Digimon with the same name. But remember that in BT5, we had essentially another run of Diaboromon cards. The Diaboromon that when you Digivolve into it, you get to play a Diaboromon token. The Arata Sonata card, that when you Digivolve into a Diaboromon, you get to play a Diaboromon token. We even had Armageddonmon, which gives you protection from Omnimon skill that would make Diaboromon basically unplayable. Yeah. Diaboromon's basically back, so this is a cool level 3 to play with it, and now you're giving me a lovely fancy version of it. Cool. And again, like I say, we got the regular version, and we've got the fancy winners version, but you have to go and, win to get the fancy winners version. You have been warned. So looking at the other cards then, we've got the Sukai Mon that came around in BT1. And this is a bit of a weird one, because this is a very, it's a very uninspiring card that looks kind of boring. And it's one of those, if you don't play the game, you look at it and go, that's kind of boring. But then as soon as you start playing, you're like, wait, it's a 2 cost to play level 3. And that's it. That's the entire hook of the card. But the fact of the matter is, generally speaking, there are always exceptions, of course, but generally speaking, you want to evolve up. You want to go from your lower level Digimon up to your higher level Digimon, and that's when you get your big, impressive, important skills and all of that. So being able to play a nice cheap Digimon and then Digivolve up from there into your more impressive, exciting Digimon is honestly a very cool thing. And we need to stop just for a moment and have a little bit of a look at the artwork here. The artwork on the original Sukai Mon was meh. Sorry, that sounds rude, but it didn't do anything for me. Here, we've got, well, I'm not entirely sure. You've got Sukai Mon, who's kind of, looks like he's tickling Patamon, but Patamon has clearly got a tear coming out of his eye. So, best case scenario, tickled so much he's got tears. Worst case scenario, far more sinister. Fingers crossed it's the good one, ladies and gentlemen, because otherwise we're all going to feel just a little bit sad. But we do have Sukai Mon coming as a promo, and that makes me rather happy indeed. We've then got ourselves a Grizzly Mom, And the Grizzly Mon here is really kind of cool, because it's a Grizzly Mon that came around in the starter deck. And we're seeing this quite a lot in Digimon, whereby they are willing to reprint starter deck cards. Now, for those that don't know or may have forgotten, the starter decks, with the exception of the two newest ones that did have a couple of reprints, generally speaking, they actually have fully exclusive cards. They are entirely exclusive. Can only be gotten in the starter decks. So having them being reprinted in things like Tamer packs is really kind of cool, because it means if you want the Grizzly Mon and for whatever reason couldn't pick up the blue starter deck and now can't find it anywhere or whatever, now it's coming around again. Also, just being more available does mean that more players are going to see it, and, you know, it might spark some deck building curiosity. Now, Grizzly Mon was your initial blue blocker. It is very much like the blue blockers that we see. It's 5 to 6,000 in terms of stats, and you give up 2 memory when you attack. So it's a very standard blocker. We see this all the time. A lot of the blockers outside of Black is different. But a lot of the blockers do have that thing whereby when you attack, you lose 2 memory. So you're never going to attack with it. The goal is not to attack with Grizzly Mon. The plan is to get Grizzly Mon out, use it as a little bit of a blocker, and then kind of roll from there. But it's a starter deck card that's been made more available, and that's kind of cool. And then finally, we have the Greymon here. Now, this is a Greymon that came around in BT1, and stats-wise, a 4,000 is absolutely fine, but it's got an inheritable skill that gives you an extra 2,000 power. And this is sneaky good, because actually getting an extra 2,000 power as an inheritable skill, it's just not something we see very often at all. It is just not a skill that comes around very much, really, ever. So being able to get yourself an extra 2,000 power as an inheritable skill is really cool. It's a very kind of red thing. And I was talking in a video earlier today, the other day. I'm not entirely sure, depends what order they go up. But I was talking about kind of adding 2,000 power, and we see things like the Beamon that gives you an extra 2,000 power if you're blocked. The Agamon that gives you an extra 2,000 power if you've got Greymon in your name. So you can essentially go up through the ranks here, and I was talking about it because of the new Megadramon that gives you an extra 2,000 power. And it basically means you can now have like a level 3, 4, and 5, all of which will give you an extra 2,000 power. So you end up in this really nice situation where, you know, by the time you're rocking that level 6, you got an extra 6,000 power. And having an extra 6,000 power is clearly, over the course of the game, going to make a heck of a difference. So this seems kind of cool. So the Tamer pack as a whole, how do we rate it? All right. I mean, the Chimeramon really does seem to be the star. If Diaboromon decks do take off, this seems to be one that really is going to see a huge amount of play. But you've also got the Sukai Mon, the 2 cost to play normally, which is really good. And then you got the Grizzly Mon as a blocker and the Greymon with the extra inheritable, well, the power, the inheritable skill that gives you power, which isn't, you know, like flat out phenomenal. But those are cool cards that are going to see a bunch of play here and there. And if we compare it to some of the others we've seen, this is about in line. We rarely get out and out proper job over the top stunning cards coming around as these Tamer promos. They tend to be these kind of niche borderline cards. So Chimeramon was one we saw a little while ago. I believe that was in, I need to remember now. And I've got this pack. It was Tamer Pack 4, was the last one I was able to get. So Tamer Pack 4 gave you the Chimeramon, for instance. And Chimeramon's got that skill that usually one of your Digimon and then one of your opponents level 5 or lower. And to be fair, Chimeramon is one of the better ones we've seen in these Tamer packs. So maybe, ladies and gentlemen. As it is, like I say, the stunning staple cards we see in every colour don't tend to come around in here. But then again, we did get the Monzaemon, and you know I love me some Monzaemon. Although it's not a terribly exciting card, it's cheap to play and cheap to digivolve, and that actually sees a whole bunch of play. So these are the kind of cards we tend to see, and it looks like we're probably going to get them in Tamer packs and tournament packs over here in the future. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I want to tell you about the new Japanese Tamer pack, but now I want to hear from you guys. Which of these 4 cards is your favourite? Which of these are you going to be wanting to pick up? Whether it's artwork, playability, whatever. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.